Have you ever gone infinite using Krosan Restorer from Torment? Well, neither have I, at least until today. Let's go make it happen. Let's begin by thanking Doug Jenkins for today's donation deck. Doug actually submitted this to Kelly Kai's, and Kelly Kai's video went live yesterday. So if you're interested in more of this content, go check out Kelly Kai's video. And Doug wanted to see my take on the deck after seeing Kelly Kai's video. I've been speaking to Kelly Kai's about possible changes, and we arrived on this deck list featuring Archaeomancer. So the idea behind this deck is that you're really a Krosan Restorer strategy. So the idea is to get Threshold, okay? And you want to play First Day of Class, which gives your creatures +1/+1 in haste, and then you can learn, which is grab a lesson card from the sideboard, like this Waterbending lesson, for example. And when you then play your Krosan Restorer, it has haste. You then, with Threshold, untap 3 lands. Well, we're playing 8 copies of Simic Growth Chamber and Is It Boilerworks all together. So with 8 of these Karoo style lands, you end up making mana with the Krosan Restorer. Okay, so now you have a creature that untaps your lands that make a bunch of mana. So then the idea is that you want to untap that creature using Surveillance Cam or Ghostly Flicker. Because once your creatures have haste from First Day of Class, when you flicker the Krosan Restorer, it just re-enters untapped with haste. So you can actually go infinite using the Archaeomancer, Krosan Restorer, and Ghostly Flicker. Once you have infinite mana, you could start, casting more draw spells like Lorien Revealed or Muldrifter until you hit another Archaeomancer. And then once you have double Archaeomancer, you can Ghostly Flicker your entire graveyard to your hand, play something like Weather the Storm to gain infinite life, and then eventually attack for lethal with all of your creatures from First Day of Class. So the previous build that Kelly Kai's was playing ran Stream of Thought. Not once did they win with Stream of Thought in the video. You just never needed it. So we've cut it today, and instead we're just all in on the beatdown plan with Muldrifters, Archaeomancers, and even Arboreal Grazer. This is a 0 power creature with reach, but it doesn't have Defender, which means that when you pump it up with First Day of Class, you can kill your opponent with this Sloth, which is pretty cool. So this is just a Value Town combo deck that's sort of like a ramp deck. In my opinion, it's like if you combined Poison Storm with Twiddle Storm. That's what we're doing today. Hopefully we win some matches, and I'll see you in the first one. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Round number 1 with Krosan Restorer Combo. We are on the play. Alright, so we have turn 1 Arboreal Grazer into Simic Growth Chamber. We have the Restorer. This hand is fantastic. Yeah. So we'll play Forest, play the Arboreal Grazer. We'll put in Simic Growth Chamber, pick up the Forest, pass the turn. Are we playing Amulet Titan and Pauper? Let's go. They have a Mountain, and do Faithless Looting. I really need a draw spell. That's what this hand needs. So like a Muldrifter or a Lorien Revealed could be very good for us. They discard a Sneaky Snacker, another Simic Growth Chamber. I think I'll play out the Krosan Restorer here. I don't have a First Day of Class, and I also don't even have red mana. So I think it's just better to have the Krosan Restorer on the battlefield. And if he eats a Lightning Bolt in the meantime, I think that's okay. They play Faithless Looting. This will return the Sneaky Snacker. They discard a Fiery Temper and a Lava Dart. They kill the Krosan Restorer, and now they have the Sneaky Snacker. There's the Lorien Revealed. So let's float a green. We'll play the Simic Growth Chamber, pick up the Forest, and now I can snap on the Sneaky Snacker. This will untap my pair of Simic Growth Chambers, and then we can play Lorien Revealed to draw 3. Let's go. We're in a good spot. They play Highway Robbery, which discards the Sneaky Snacker. They play a Mountain, Explore. So I think we play the Forest. And then let's make 2 green. We'll cast Explore, another Archaeomancer. And now we'll play Archaeomancer and get back Snap, pass the turn. They have land number 4, 6 cards in hand. Kessig Flame Breather. They swing, will block with the Arboreal Grazer. And they're going to Lightning Bolt on my Archaeomancer, sure. Fine with me. Now they're going to Lava Dart on the Arboreal Grazer. Pulse of Marasa. This can get back the Krosan Restorer, which I like. One has 3 cards in their hand. What I'm lacking is red mana. So I think we'll float mana here. We'll bounce the Kessig Flame Breather. And I'm choosing the Kessig Flame Breather here because I don't want them to Lava Dart their own Sneaky Snacker and fizzle my Snap. Untap, untap. Blue, blue. We'll play Lorien Revealed. I hit the as a Boilerworks. I think we're ready to win next turn. Pick up the Forest. And now Pulse of Marasa and pick up the Krosan Restorer. Pass the turn. Wow. Alright, this deck looking pretty good here in match 1 so far. Kessig Flame Breather is back. And I'll go to 22. I think we actually can beat a Lightning Bolt here too. We'll begin by casting First Day of Class. And we'll grab the Origin of Metal Bending, because this can be used to give my creature indestructible. We'll play Forest. And now we'll play Krosan Restorer. First Day of Class triggers. Alright, they did not respond there, so Lava Darts, they could have double Lava Darted to try to kill it with the trigger on the stack, but they didn't. We'll untap 3 lands. They're attempting to Lightning Bolt. I will Origin of Metal Bending. Target my Krosan Restorer. So now the Lightning Bolt fizzles. My lands will untap. I'll now play Archaeomancer. And we will return Pulse of Marasa. So let's see if this resolves. It does. And now we can Ghostly Flicker on these 2. And I'll return Ghostly Flicker. They Fire Blast in response. So I will lose my Krosan Restorer here. But I have the Pulse of Marasa. We have a built-in backup plan. Like, honestly, I'm fine here. Like, it stinks that we didn't win this turn. But I also don't think I need to win this turn. I can win next turn. It'll be okay. Well, there, an Epicure. Another Fire Blast, this time on the Archaeomancer. Sure, you have no lands. I'm fine with this. I'm at 15. We'll play Pulse of Marasa, getting back the Archaeomancer. And now we'll play Archaeomancer. And the opponent just concedes. I guess I didn't even need to do the full combo. We'll bring in Weather the Storm and Hydroblast. So I think in these games or matches, it's really nice to have a Arboreal Grazer to speed yourself up but also slow them down. Explorer does something similar, but it's probably the weaker of the two. It's a lot better in slower matchups, so I'm going to board out the Explorers here. And then I still need 2 more cuts. I think it's likely Lorien Revealed. The other list wasn't playing them at all, and it played 1 more land. And I cut a land, and I put in 4 Lorien Revealeds. But I think we're allowed to board down. This is fine. We'll keep this. They have a mountain into Voldaren Epicure. We'll play the Bountiful Landscape. Pass the turn. They swing. Ouch. And they just pass. We'll fetch for an island on the end step. Simic Growth Chamber. So I'll have to discard here, but I think that's okay. So you could be really, like, focused on, how do I want to word this? Having all of your cards all the time, and, like, you could waste a Pyroblast here. I don't think that's the best move we can make. So I'll end up getting rid of the island here. They discard a Fiery Temper. That's fine. So, like, you could also get rid of the Boilerworks, but I think I want... Actually, maybe... Actually, I think it is the Boilerworks. We'll get rid of that. As much as a 3rd Karoo land would help later, I think I shouldn't be planning for the late game. They plot a Highway Robbery. That's fine. We'll play the island again and pass. They Lightning Bolt me. I go to 11. They swing with the Voldaren Epicure. I think we're just going to take the hit here. I go to 10. I'm a little worried about, like, Bolt, Fire Blast. We'll just take my turn. We'll play Mountain, pass. 3 mana. They play a Lightning Bolt. I think I'm going to respond here. Let's... Do I actually want to snap a Voldaren Epicure? Not really. But I think I'll just Hydroblast. They have Pyroblast. I will Weather the Storm. So I will gain 12 life here. I'm at 19. They play Grab the Prize, discarding Fiery Temper. I am now at 14. They have 3 cards in their hand. They swing. I go back down to 13. I think it's time for us to slam a Muldrifter. Trigger, we'll draw 2. 2 lands was not ideal. We're a little flooded at the moment. They play Kessig Flame Breather. And now they play Highway Robbery. I go to 12. They discard another Kessig Flame Breather. They play a land. And they plot another highway robbery. Sure. Fire Blast on the Mole Drifter. I'm surprised by that. They have one card in their hand. They swing, I will go to 10. Ghostly Flicker. We'll float a red. We'll play as a Boilerworks, picking up the mountain. And now we will snap on Kessig Flame Breather. Untap. And then let's evoke the Mole Drifter. So we'll put the draw 2 on the stack first and then the evoke. And now we'll Ghostly Flicker on the Mole Drifter and our island. And now I'll draw 2 more. And I think we're going to pass here. Discard basic island. They replay the Kessig Flame Breather. Highway Robbery, I'm back down to 9. They play Mountain. They have 3 cards in their hand. They swing, will block. And now they play a Lava Dart to kill my Mole Drifter. I go to 8. Okay then. Weather the Storm. We'll play our Mountain. Let's make blue. We'll make another red. We'll play our Chaomancer, floating a green. This can pick up Snap. And now we'll snap the Kessig Flame Breather. Untap. I have 5 mana. I'm kind of interested in Weather the Storm just to make sure I don't lose. So I think I'm going to evoke Mole Drifter and then Weather the Storm. No, I shouldn't waste the Mole Drifter. Let's play Surveillance Cam. And then we'll Weather the Storm to gain 12. Pass the turn. They Pyroblast on the Archaeomancer. They have 3 cards still in hand. Arboreal Grazer. Let's play Mole Drifter. Draw 2. We'll play the Boilerworks. Pick up the mountain. Play the Arboreal Grazer. We'll put the mountain back into play. Pass the turn. They grab the prize, discarding Fiery Temper. They kill my Mole Drifter. I go to 18. 3 cards still in their hand. I think we have the win. There's 1 Lava Dart. Let's try to make this happen. First day of class. We'll grab the Origin of Metal Bending. We'll play Krosan Restorer. Trigger. We'll untap our 3 lands. And now I can play our Chaomancer. We'll use the red. This will get back, I don't know, Weather the Storm? No, I think I want the first day of class, actually. So now we Ghostly Flicker. Now I have infinite mana. This will target Ghostly Flicker, untap 3 lands, make more mana, Ghostly Flicker again. And at this point, it's just a lot of clicking until we win. I'm going to quit narrating this as I make mana. You just don't need to watch me click this a million times. Okay, I think I'm going to first day of class. I can just like play the waterbending lesson here without needing to continue to try to full combo. We'll just pay 2. I can cycle the Bountiful Landscape. We'll play the Krosan Restorer. We'll make more mana. Ghostly Flicker. So now these are going to return just a little bit larger. And now we'll untap. We'll make some more mana. Let's draw off the Surveillance Cam. We'll untap the Krosan Restorer. And now we'll draw 2. We'll play our land. Pick up the mountain. I think we should draw off this other Surveillance Cam before I try to swing. Like, let's exhaust our options here. We'll play the Cam. Untap the Krosan Restorer. And now we'll draw. In response, we'll make some mana. Alright, down to 8 minutes. We had a Lorien revealed. Let's play that. Arboreal Grazer. Let's play the Grazer. We'll put the mountain back into play. We'll snap this Arboreal Grazer so that way I can replay it. Let's make red. We'll cycle the Bountiful Landscape. Another first day of class. I guess I could get closer to winning here. Alright, let's... This is annoying, but let's do it. Untap. We'll play first day of class. Gets the waterbending lesson. And now we'll Ghostly Flicker on these 2 again because this pumps them up a tiny bit. Get back the first day of class. Down to 7 minutes. I do need to be aware of that. We'll play first day of class again. Discard Snap. I don't really need that anymore. Drew another Ghostly Flicker. We'll untap our lands. Ghostly Flicker. Return the Ghostly Flicker. So they're at 20. I have 16. Does the Grazer kill them here? Looks like it does. And now we'll go to combat. And this is 20. Nice. Alright, so we've defeated Burn. It took a lot of clicking, but we got there. And we are now 1-0 in this Pauper League. Packs.com is the new way to open your favorite cards. It's a site where you open digital packs of trading cards like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and One Piece cards, and have the cards you open mailed quickly and securely to you. With a wide range of packs to choose from, such as the latest Magic sets, Kaladesh inventions, or even beta. I'm going to open a beta pack. What's great about Packs.com is you can see all of the cards and their odds of being opened in each pack. Now it's time to open one and see what I get. Come on, Black Lotus! If you don't like what you opened, you could sell it back instantly for more packs, or sell it and pick a specific card from the marketplace over at packs.com/market. If you want to check out packs.com, make sure to click the link in the description of this video and use code STORM5 when making a purchase for 5% extra on your first purchase. We are on the play for the second match. Let's go. Love to get another win. This seems okay. We don't have any of the Karoo lands. I actually think this hand is like a little sketchy, but I think you're supposed to keep it. So you need to draw one of your lands that taps for 2 colors, and then you need a draw spell. And then you're probably off to the races. But I think mulliganing probably isn't the right move here. It's just you kind of have to accept the situation you're in. We'll play Bountiful Landscape and pass. Plains. Novice Inspector, okay. We'll grab our Forest. You have a Novice Inspector. I think I'll play Explorer here instead of the Grazer, trying to spike another land. We did not. Pass the turn. They swing. Ouch, I'll go to 19. They play a Luminarch Veteran. There's our land. Okay, so let's tap for a green. We'll play the Boilerworks. Bounce the Forest. Play the Arboreal Grazer. And now we'll play the Forest again. Pass. They use the Clue token. They swing. I'll block and take 1. Lorien revealed. I'm 1 mana shy of casting that, unless I snap this turn. Maybe it's not a terrible idea to burn the snap. So we'll snap the Veteran, untap, untap. We'll draw 3 cards here, hopefully hitting a land. We do into double snap. I love that. Pass. The Veteran is back. They swing. We'll block. If you want to waste a pump spell here, go for it. Another Lorien revealed. We'll play our Chaomancer. Getting back Lorien revealed. They're going to use a, what is it called? Raven Charm here, most likely. They exile my graveyard. That's fine with me. Now we'll pass. So they're saying that they have Conqueror's Pledge in their hand with this attack. So I'm just not going to block. Or, I'm sorry, it's Guardian's Pledge. But yeah, that was a pretty easy to read card. We drew the Cam. We'll snap the Veteran. Untap, untap. Snap the Novice Inspector. Untap, untap. Now we'll cast Lorien Revealed. Any untapped land lets me play the Krosan Restorer, but we did not draw one. That's a little disheartening. Okay. We will pass the turn. I guess I can get in there for 1. Luminarch Veteran. Land number 6. The Novice Inspector. Any Battle Screech. Sure. You have the bird, so I'm at 15. You draw a Muldrifter. A little constrained on mana this game. I think I'll just play Muldrifter here. Draw. No lands. You're killing me, Smalls. We'll get rid of Arboreal Grazer and explore. If they have another Guardian's Pledge, I'll be in trouble. They draw off the Clue. They play the land. 4 cards in their hand. I'll throw 1 in front. If I put both in front, I'm really far behind. So if they pump here, that's actually lethal. So I actually have to throw everything in front. And they do have the second copy of Guardian's Pledge. I don't think I'm winning this anymore. I just needed to draw another Karoo land at some point, but I didn't. Also, Marasa puts me up to 9. Okay, I think I have to make a play here to get ahead rather than just to stabilize. So I'm going to evoke Muldrifter, and I have to draw an untapped land. But this is a play that could theoretically get me to a point where I could win. So we'll draw 2. I did not draw an untapped land. You gotta be kidding me. I am dead. We'll go to game 2. That was really frustrating, but not the end of the world. We're gonna try to keep a positive outlook and just win the post-board games. I feel like I was really far ahead most of that game, and then the deck just did not cooperate. No sideboard needed here. We're just going to send it back and hopefully draw a little bit better. On the play for game 2. Sure. So we have all of the lands we want. I just need to draw spells. We'll play the Bountiful Landscape and pass. So you might be saying we should go fetch a forest or an island. I don't think we should. So we have everything we need but draw spells. This can eventually cycle. So I think the game plan right now is just play your stuff, pick this up, and cycle it later. They have a Raffine's Informant, gets rid of a Prismatic Strands. They swing another Bountiful Landscape. I think we'll play the Krosan Restorer. Pass the turn. Land number 3. Journey to Nowhere. I don't think our deck has a way to deal with that. I guess, actually, Origin of Metal Bending destroys an enchantment. So if we were to draw First Day of Class, they now have a Thraben Inspector, and they swing for 4. I'll go to 15. We'll tap for a colorless. We'll play Is a Boilerworks, picking up the Bountiful Landscape. We'll snap the Raffine's Informant. Untap, untap. If I play the Lorien Revealed, I'll have to discard a card, but I think that's okay here. And I'll discard the second Bountiful Landscape. Pass. Raffine's Informant is back. Gets rid of a Luminarch Veteran. They swing for 2. I'll go to 13. First Day of Class. We'll float mana. Let's play Snap, bouncing the Raffine's Informant. We'll untap our lands. So I could, First Day of Class, destroy the Journey to Nowhere and then untap my lands. That actually seems kind of nice. So I'll play the Bountiful Landscape, tap the Bountiful Landscape. We'll play First Day of Class. We'll get the Origin of Metal Bending, and I will now destroy the Journey to Nowhere. Oh, I don't have Threshold. I am 1 card short. I did not account for that. But theoretically, I can give myself Threshold. I can Ghostly Flicker or Mole Drifter. If they try to Thraben Charm here, I can respond and save my creature. Let's evoke the Mole Drifter. They're going to kill the Krosan Restorer in response. So they were patient and they were rewarded. We will... Actually, no, I think I can trick them here. So I'm going to now flash in the Sewer Valence Cam. Untap the Krosan Restorer. Yes. Untap the Semi-Growth Chamber. Ghostly Flicker. We'll target our camera and the Restorer. So target here, and then First Day of Class. So First Day of Class will resolve. I will now make a bunch of mana. Make mana again. So now it untaps. Yes. And now we'll untap again. Alright, I feel like I played this one relatively well. Yes. This just fizzles. And now we can let the evoke happen. Auto yield to the haste. Auto yield to the draw. Let's untap our lands. And then so let's see if I can draw a Ghostly Flicker before I sacrifice. I will use the camera. We'll untap the Krosan Restorer. Draw 2. I did not draw a Ghostly Flicker. Unfortunately, Mole Drifter dies. We will play Explore. Tap this. We'll play Semi-Growth Chamber. Pick up the Bountiful Landscape. So I believe I have the win now, because this gets back the Ghostly Flicker. So now we'll untap Ghostly Flicker. This returns Ghostly Flicker. And once again, I'm going to quit narrating this and just try to make mana. Alright, so I'm going to play a Mole Drifter here. Let's see if I can draw into some more creatures to make this a little bit faster. Another Ghostly Flicker Explorer. We'll play Lorien Revealed. A Grazer. We'll play another Lorien Revealed. We'll Ghostly Flicker. Get back the Ghostly Flicker. Make more mana. First Day of Class. Grab a Waterbending Lesson. Ghostly Flicker. We'll return First Day of Class. I just need to hurry up and win. We'll play First Day of Class. We'll grab the Waterbending Lesson. We'll Ghostly Flicker. Grab First Day of Class again. Untap. First Day of Class. We'll discard a Boilerworks draw. We'll play Explore. Play a land. We'll Ghostly Flicker. Return Ghostly Flicker. Make mana. We'll play Waterbending Lesson. We'll discard a card. Another Archaeomancer plus Grazer. So this, I think, gives us lethal. Actually, I probably have to Ghostly Flicker again. One more loop. Return the Ghostly Flicker. Down to 10 minutes. We'll play Archaeomancer. Return the Snap. Ghostly Flicker. Oh, they have Prismatic Strands. That's why they're not conceding. Okay. We'll return Ghostly Flicker. We'll play a Boreal Grazer. Put in the Forest. Oh, they can't Prismatic Strands. I just have lethal. They're tapped out. Alright, 9 minutes left on the clock. Should be enough for game 3. We will submit. No green mana, but we will keep. Turn 1 Thraben Inspector. Alright, we did not draw what we wanted. They play Plains, they swing, we'll go to 19. Raffine's Informant. In hindsight, maybe I was supposed to flash in the cam, because now if I play Boilerworks, I have to discard. Alright, well that was a good draw. Let's just go grab our forest, pass the turn. We'll flash in the cam, target the Raffine's Informant. Little over 9 minutes, or I'm sorry, little over 8 minutes left. I need to play quickly. We'll take one. We'll play a Boreal Grazer, play the Boilerworks, we'll pick up the forest, play the forest, play a Boreal Grazer, island onto the battlefield, pass the turn, Militia Bugler. In response, I'm going to flash in the camera, tap the Raffine's Informant. They find a Leonardo Big Brother. They play Idyllic Grange, sure. They probably should have put that on the Militia Bugler so it could swing through the Grazers, but their decision. Battle Screech. Is it Boilerworks? Pick up an island. Pass the turn. In their upkeep, we'll use the camera. We'll tap the Raffine's Informant. Weather the Storm in another camera. Okay. They swing. We will block. They have 4 cards in their hand. They play the Leonardo Big Brother. Okay, I'm at 10. They have a land. Raffine's Informant. Gets rid of Standard Bearer. First, they have Class. I don't have the Krosan Restorer yet. So I think we pass here. In the upkeep, we'll use the camera. Tap the Leonardo. Yes. And then we'll sacrifice the camera. We'll tap the Raffine's Informant. Yes. We'll draw 2. They swing. We'll block. So this would take... I'd take 5, down to 5. They draw off the clue. They have the Guardian's Pledge. I can weather the storm here, which should keep me alive. And I'm at 8, so I need to rip the win this turn. So first they have Class could get water bending, but that likely doesn't do it here. I could also just try to stay alive by using our Chaomancer into weather. That's not much life, that's only 6. Yeah, 6 life doesn't do it. But I think I have to hope to get lucky here. We'll play first day of Class. And then I think we need to discard and draw. Get rid of the Grazer. That was not it. Alright, so we saw roughly a third of our deck and did not hit the Krosan Restorer. But I think we just lose now. Okay. I mean, that was a good match. We just didn't win it. So we are now 1-1.
Building a new deck usually means getting hit with a dozen different shipping fees from a dozen different sellers. It adds up fast, and honestly, it's the worst part of buying cards. That's why I switched to Card Trader Zero. You shop their global marketplace, but instead of having every seller ship to you, they ship to Card Trader's hub first. Card Trader then packs everything into a single shipment for you, and it saves a small fortune on shipping fees. This package from Card Trader just arrived. These are 4 Dark Rituals that came from 4 different sellers, but they all arrived in one envelope, and every card was quality checked by the Card Trader team before it hit my door. Check out the link in the description to try Card Trader Zero's optimizer for yourself. Stop paying for multiple shipments and get just one.
Round 3, we're on the draw. I cannot keep this because our only land is a Boilerworks. It does not work. This is no lands. We will keep, get rid of Boilerworks and the second Chaomancer. Red. Okay. So being in a mold to 5 on the draw is not where we want to be in this matchup. We'll play the Island Pass. I think we'll flash in the camera here, just to try to slow the game down a little bit. They play a land, Kessig Flame Breather. This game might be a lost cause. We'll play Simic Growth Chamber, pick up the Island Pass. They have land number 3, 4 cards in their hand. Grab the prize, discards grab the prize. Okay, I go to 16. They can attack for 2 and I'll go to 14. Chain Lightning, so now I'll go to 10. They still have 3 cards in their hand. Yep, I'm at 10. I don't even know what draw would get me out of this. We'll play Explore. Well, I need a green mana, and I don't have one. We'll play Island, and then Boilerworks, picking up the island. Pass the turn. They discard Sneaky Snacker. 3 cards still in hand. Voldaren Epicure, I go to 9. They swing, I'll go to 7. They're going to use the blood token. This returns Sneaky Snacker, and that draw does not do it. So we will go to game number 2. Once again, we're going to do the same plan from match 1, where we bring in the Hydroblast and then the additional copies of Weather the Storm. We'll get rid of Explore. And then I believe we did 2 Lorien Revealed. Game 2 on the play. Yeah, this is fine. Our opponent has taken a mulligan to 4. I wonder what they're looking for. We'll play Bountiful Landscape and pass. They play Mountain and Voldaren Epicure. We will search out our forest. We'll play a Boreal Grazer. Put the Boilerworks into play. We pick up the forest, replay the forest, and now we pass. They have land number 2, 3 cards in hand. They use the blood token and fiery temper. They point the damage at me. I think they were actually supposed to go after the arboreal grazer. Is it Boilerworks? That's actually a fairly good draw. We'll play it, pick up the forest, and pass. They play land number 3, still 3 cards in hand. Chain lightning at me, I go to 13. We'll flash in the sewer valence camera, we'll tap down the Voldaren Epicure, play the forest, pass the turn. Land number 4, still 2 cards in hand. We'll use the camera, and now we'll tap the Voldaren Epicure. And I'll end up drawing 2 cards here. They lightning bolt, I go to 10. Fiery temper, I'm at 7. They have no hand now. We draw another camera, play the island. There's no 1 card that kills me here, so I think I'm going to play Mole Drifter. We'll draw 2, and I'll just pass the turn. Get rid of a camera. I just don't need it right now. We're going to swing in. I'll block with the Grazer, sure. I could block with the Mole Drifter, but if they drew Lava Dart, it's a little weird. Simic Growth Chamber is a good draw. We'll swing, float a blue. We'll play the Simic Growth Chamber. And then I'm going to snap on my Mole Drifter. And here's the Lava Dart. Sure. I'm just going to Hydroblast the Lava Dart on the way back. So now we'll pick up the Mole Drifter, untap our lands, play the Mole Drifter. We're going to float a blue. Weather the Storm would be nice. We've seen almost a third of our deck and haven't found one yet. There we go. Weather the Storm. We're now at 25. Our opponent has effectively lost this game, but now we need to deal lethal. They Lava Dart the Mole Drifter. They really want it gone, it seems. Sure. We draw another land. We'll play our Chaomancer, and the opponent concedes. Alright, off to game 3. No, not like this. We have to mulligan. This is fine. We'll keep. Get rid of the island. So I like the weather the storm, but we don't have things to slow the game down other than the weather, which is a little concerning. They don't have a 1-drop. Play the forest. We'll pass. Land number 2. They plot a highway robbery. Okay. We'll play the Boilerworks. I love drawing the Hydroblast. That was very good for us. And now we'll pass. Kessig Flame Breather. And now the highway robbery. Discards a Voldaren Epicure. They play a land. Lightning Bolt, I'll go to 15. Another Hydro. I wonder if actually I'm supposed to just kill the Kessig Flame Breather now and not try to fight them on the Storm axis. So we'll kill this now. They have 4 cards in hand. I can put myself up to 21, and they have 4 cards in hand. Like, that might just be fine here. Yeah, let's do that. I'd rather just play it safe, because next turn I need to get rid of my open green mana anyway in order to play the Simic Growth Chamber. Another Kessig Flame Breather. Let's Hydroblast on the Kessig Flame Breather. They Lava Dart in response. Okay. We'll float a green, play the Growth Chamber, pick up the forest. I guess I'll play the Arboreal Grazer. I don't know if there's a reason to hold it or not. Now we'll play the forest and pass. They have 3 cards in hand. They play Grab the Prize, discarding Grab the Prize. I go to 17. First day of class. I guess we'll play the first day of class here. We'll grab an Origin of Metal Bending, and then we'll play the Krosan Restorer. So they would need an instant speed card to kill the Restorer here with the first day of class trigger on the stack. Let's see if this resolves. It does. Nice. Alright, pass the turn. They have a Gutter Snipe. That's scary. I'm not really in a spot to win the game right now. They have 3 cards in hand and a Lava Dart in the graveyard. I've already used 2 Hydroblasts. If we could draw an Archaeomancer, that would be very good for us. They play a land, 2 cards in hand. Grab the prize. I'm at 13. And they discarded Fire Blast. Surprising. I wonder if that means they have another one in their hand. Pulse of Marasa. I mean, that gains life, but I don't know if that's really something we're interested in right now. They're at 2 cards in hand. I think I'm supposed to just Pulse of Marasa and pass. Oh no, I'd have to return a card to their hand. I don't want to do that, because I don't have a land in the graveyard. Alright, so it's first day of class. And unfortunately, I think I have to get rid of the Ghostly Flicker here, or the Pulse of Marasa. Probably the Pulse of Marasa. Okay, so that's 6 cards. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was thinking I could discard and Waterbend. I just punted. Oh no. Alright, so we're going to tap here. target the Semi-Growth Chamber. We'll play the Surveillance Cam, untap the Krosan Restorer. Yes. And now I can get up the threshold. We'll untap 3 lands. Okay, and now my Krosan Restorer untaps, and I'll draw 2. I did not hit, but partially my own fault because I messed up. We'll cycle the Bountiful Landscape, play the Semi-Growth Chamber, pick up the Forest, and now we're going to destroy the Gutter Snipe. Yeah, I messed this game up so badly, I might actually lose now. They're going to Lava Dart me in response, so I'll go to 10. Pass the turn. They cast Fiery Temper. I'll untap my lands. Then I'll play Origin of Metal Bending. Fiery Temper fizzles. They have 1 card in their hand. We drew Weather. Okay. I guess it's time to start being the beatdown. Attack for 3. Bryant Cook, here I am. 2 cards in their hand. Lorien Revealed. We'll swing. Play the Lorien Revealed. Maybe I should have done this pre-combat. I'll play Snap on my Arboreal Grazer. Untap, untap. Play the Arboreal Grazer. With this on the stack, we're going to flash in Surveillance Cam. Untap the Krosan Restorer. Yes. Now we'll make mana. We'll use the Krosan Restorer. And now we will use the Surveillance Cam. Untap the Krosan Restorer. Yes. This can resolve. And I didn't draw a land, but I will double Weather the Storm this turn. Okay. Our opponent has just conceded, and we have now defeated Burn for a 2nd time. Okay. Not bad. I mean, the one game we lost, or the one match we lost, I couldn't find the Krosan Restorer, which seems like, you know, a tough thing in the deck based around it, but we're doing well enough so far. We're 2-1. Hopefully we win match number 4. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round 4 on the draw. This is a pretty good hand. I like it. So we have the Explorers to accelerate. We have our Chaomancer. It looks like our opponent's on Golgari Gardens. We'll play the Bountiful Landscape and pass. They are, in fact, on the Golgari Gardens deck. They play Ichor Wellspring. I have to imagine this is an okay matchup for us. We'll grab the Mountain because we have everything else, I think. We'll play Explorer, Semi-Growth Chamber, pick up the Mountain, pass. They pass the turn. We draw another Explorer. I don't have more cards to put in play, though. We'll play the Mountain. If I play the Mole Drifter, I'm just going to have to discard, so I think I'll try to Explore here. We did not hit. I will pass. Except they play Eviscerator's Insight, sacrificing the Ichor Wellspring. They play a Swamp. Crypt Rats. That could be problematic. We'll draw. Arboreal Grazer. Let's try evoking Mole Drifter. I do have a land drop this turn if I can manage to hit. Not great. I mean, I guess Lorien Revealed cycles, but I will have to discard. I guess I could play the Camera, actually. Target the Crypt Rats. They play Golgari Rot Farm and Nile Spellbomb. That actually is annoying because it takes away my threshold and the Archaeomancer loops. I think I'm just going to play out the Archaeomancer and try to bait the Nile Spellbomb. Get back the Lorien Revealed. They use the Spellbomb. That's fine. End step, they're making 2 mana for an Eviscerator's Insight. They play a Swamp, 9 cards in their hand. Tithing Blade. Goodbye to my Archaeomancer. Another Nile Spellbomb. And now they swing. I'm at 18. They have 7 cards in their hand. Mole Drifter. Let's attempt a Snap on the Crypt Rats. They're going to kill it in response. That's fine. And now we'll evoke a Mole Drifter. Weather the Storm. We'll play Boilerworks. Pick up the Mountain. And I think I'll discard an Explorer here. They cycle a Troll of Khazad-dûm, which is Cottage. This can get back the Crypt Rats, and it does. Troll of Khazad-dûm. We'll play the Mountain. Play the Archaeomancer, trying to bait this Nile Spellbomb again. They use the Nile Spellbomb. With this still on the stack, I will snap the Troll of Khazad-dûm. Untap, untap. And now this can pick up the snap, and we'll pass. They play Swamp. Cryptorats, sure. End step, we will use the Surveillance Cam, tap the Cryptorats. We're going to kill my Archaeomancer, sure. Another Krosan Restorer. So I think we might be able to combo out here. We'll play the Bountiful Landscape. We'll use the first day of class. Grab the Origin of Metal Bending. Let's play the Krosan Restorer. So this has a trigger. Let's see if they respond to the trigger. They did not. We'll float mana. Untap the Simic Growth Chamber. Okay. They have 6 cards in their hand. Maybe I'm just being too aggressive right now. I think I'm just going to end up passing the turn. I'll play Explore. I think maybe I was a little too overambitious. And I'll pass. They're going to Defile. Let's attempt to snap my Restorer here. And then make them use the Cryptorats. Another Defile. I think that's okay. Now they have Bazooka Bog. That's a lot of graveyard hate. Okay. There's 4 cards in their hand, and one of them is a Troll of Khazad-dûm. I'm at 15. And there's the Troll of Khazad-dûm. We draw another Bountiful Landscape. We'll play we'll play Lorien Revealed. Play the Bountiful Landscape. We'll use the Landscape. We'll grab a Forest. I need more green, man. I keep on getting choked on it. And then I think I'm going to do a Sad Weather the Storm for 6. I could play out a Grazer as a blocker, but then I take 6 damage if they have a piece of creature removal, and I don't want to do that. In their upkeep, I'll flash in the Surveillance Cam. Tap down the Troll of Khazad-dûm. They play a Colony Garden, 3 cards in their hand. Another Krosan Restorer. Let's fetch with the Bountiful Landscape. Grab another island. We'll play an Arboreal Grazer, and then we'll pass. And then we'll use the Surveillance Cam on their turn. We're going to Pulse of Murasa, back a Troll of Khazad-dûm. Okay. And Flashback Eviscerator's Insight. You got it. We'll use the Surveillance Cam, tapping the Troll. Our opponent played a Fanatical Offering. And now another Colony Garden. Campfire. Another Campfire, sure. We're going to use the map. I feel like this is a good time to use this Weather the Storm. We'll gain 12. Muldrifter. That seems like a good draw. We'll play Muldrifter. Play the as a Boilerworks. Pick up an island. Let's play a Boreal Grazer. Put the island back onto the table. And now we'll pass. They flash back Eviscerator's Insight. I'm down to 22 cards in my deck. We'll take 6. The other Troll of Khazad-dûm. First day of class. I could try to win here. I mean, we have everything we need, I believe. Let's play first day of class. Grab a Waterbending Lesson. We'll play our Forest. Play Krosan Restorer. First day of class triggers. So we play a Cast Down. I will attempt a Origin of Metal Bending. Another Cast Down. I will attempt a Ghostly Flicker. We're going to Cryptorats for 2. Okay. So now I can play the Krosan Restorer. Untap some lands. They have 3 cards in their hand. I think I'm supposed to Waterbending Lesson here. Yeah, let's do that. And I did not draw what I needed. I feel like I could have played this turn better. We'll get rid of Grazer. Pass the turn. I wonder if I could have sequenced to beat the Cryptorat somehow. They have another Colony Garden, 3 cards in their hand. Fanatical Offering. They have a Lembas. Another Lembas. Reckoner's Bargain. They swing, I'll go to 12. No blocks. They Defile on my Krosan Restorer. Okay, let's play Pulse of Murasa, getting back Muldrifter. We'll play Muldrifter. Play the Simic Growth Chamber, pick up Mountain. Pass the turn. Now they Fanatical Offering. I only have 1 Krosan Restorer left in my deck. I'm at 6. Cryptrats. I'm actually just dead to that. They use the map token. I don't know if I have an out here. I've used both Weather the Storms and my Pulse are gone. I'm just going to save some time here and concede. I've already used half my clock. And I'm down 2.5 minutes on clock. I don't think we have a sideboard for this matchup either. You could like board in Waterbending Lessons over the Weather the Storms. Just because it's so value centric, you don't want a dead card. And then the first day of class is just always loot. We'll try this. I don't know if our deck is capable of winning 2 games in 12 minutes. Keep. We'll play Bountiful Landscape. We're just going to do everything as fast as we can here. They have Swamp. We'll play the Bountiful Landscape. Use it. We'll go grab Mountain. Cycle the Lorien Revealed. Pass the turn. They cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm. We're just going to start slamming the Krosan Restorers because I don't think we can win if I don't. So I realize that I'm playing them into removal. I think it's kind of just the situation I'm in. They have a Tithing Blade. Grazer stinks. Pass the turn. If we have one more land, I could snap the Restorer back if they try to kill it. They play a Swamp. I think we want to hold this. Pass the turn. They play Swamp number 4. Another snap. Go to cleanup. Or I'm sorry, go to pass the turn. I don't have to discard yet. Wealth of Whispers. Crypt Rats. They use the map. Mole Drifter. Let's bounce the Crypt Rats. And then we'll evoke Mole Drifter. Need lands. Nope. Okay. Pass the turn. Ichor Wellspring. And Tithing Blade, sure. Explore. I'm going to evoke Mole Drifter again. Where are my lands? We'll play Grazer. Go to cleanup. Discard a snap. Pass the turn. They play Ichor Wellspring. We'll cycle and explore. I think I just need to accept the situation I'm in and we'll cycle the Lorien Revealed for an island. I was hoping to cast it, but we just never drew a land. They have a Colony Garden, Crypt Rats, Archaeomancer. I think we play Archaeomancer here. Get back the Lorien Revealed. They have Fairy Macabre. Okay. We will pass. Pulse of Murasa. Let's get back Mole Drifter. We'll get in there for 1. Maybe I was supposed to just get the land here. I don't know. And then we'll get rid of a Ghostly Flicker. It just doesn't help me right now. They defile on the Archaeomancer. Tithing Blade. Sure. Another first day of class. We'll evoke the Mole Drifter. Hey, we hit a Growth Chamber, finally. We'll pick up Forest. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. I have to get rid of 2 cards. Probably the Forest and Waterbending Lesson. They have a Witch's Cottage. Still 5 cards in their hand. That's a lot. Another Mole Drifter. We'll play it. Triggers. Okay, so we're starting to hit our lands now. Go to cleanup. Discard the Mountain and Boilerworks. I don't know. I feel like I need everything else. Maybe I could have gotten rid of a first day of class. I'm not sure. Another Defile. They swing. We'll play Explore. Play the Archaeomancer. Get back Pulse of Murasa. They have another Fairy Macabre. Okay. Colony Garden, 4 cards in their hand. They're going to Crypt Rats. Okay. Another Crypt Rats. That's annoying. So this could be my window to try to win. We'll attempt a snap. That resolved. We'll play First Day of Class. Grab the Origin of Metal Bending. We'll play Krosan Restorer. This triggers Origin of Metal Bending. And now we'll untap. We'll play another Krosan Restorer. Now we can play Archaeomancer. Get back, I don't know, Waterbending Lesson. This deck just takes way too long. They have a third Fairy Macabre, okay. So we're going to play First Day of Class here. We're going to loot away the other one. Ghostly Flicker. Gets back Ghostly Flicker. And I think I'll just do these 2, because I need to win in 5 minutes, so I can't afford to sit here and click forever. And we'll just go to combat. And now they can just play the Crypt Rats and then wipe my board. So I don't even know what I'm doing here. Yep. The clock is so difficult. I feel like with enough time I could have won this one. Alright. We are now 2-2.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game.
The final round. Can we win and get my play points back? Let's find out. It's close. I don't have one of my Karoo lands. I think you're actually supposed to mulligan this. This is better. Our opponent has finally joined us. Alright, so we're going to keep bottom of mountain. Play island, pass the turn. Is it red for a 3rd time? It is. Okay. We'll play Is it Boilerworks, pick up the island, and pass. So this is not the same as the red builds we've faced previously. This is Rally Red, which is faster, and it doesn't use burn spells as much. We were facing the Prowess builds previously. My hand is just very slow. I think I need to evoke a Mole Drifter here. We draw First Day of Class and another Mole Drifter. Another Goblin Tomb Raider. That's a lot of damage. I'm going to be at 10 when they have 4 cards in their hand. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. We'll play the Simic Growth Chamber, pick up the island, pass the turn. Lightning Bolt puts me to 7. We'll discard an island and... oh, it's just 1, my bad. We'll play Sewer Valence Cam, tap down a Goblin Tomb Raider. So this would put me to 4, which leaves me dead to Galvanic Blast or Fire Blast, or just 2 burn spells. And they have the Galvanic Blast. My hand was not great for this matchup. Okay, so we lose game 1, but we could still win the post-board game, so we'll bring in Weather the Storm and Hydroblast. Same game plan as before, we'll get rid of the Explorers and 2 copies of Lorien Revealed. Game 2 on the play. So close. Oh, this hand would have been really good if we just had 1 other land. Mulligan. Keep, get rid of a snap. Island pass. Voldaren Epicure. I don't think I want to Hydroblast that. We'll play the Boilerworks. Pass the turn. Goblin Tomb Raider. And Clockwork Percussionist. Yeah, coming out of the gate strong. I need green mana really badly. They have land number 3. Rally. I'll Hydroblast this. And I think I'm going to kill the Tomb Raider. I just need to buy time. I'm at 13. They have 3 cards. Okay, so we can snap on Clockwork Percussionist. Untap, untap. And now we'll play our Archaeomancer and get back Hydroblast. Pass the turn. They Lightning Bolt the Archaeomancer. I think that's a fine exchange. They use the Blood token, getting rid of a mountain. They play Rally. 3 cards in hand, one of which is a Clockwork Percussionist, and I cannot draw green mana! Oh, I have to pass. I need to keep the snap in case we draw into Simic Growth Chamber, so I can't afford to use that. They swing for 3, I'll go to 7. That is not a green mana. So this attack puts me down to 4. They have 5 cards in their hand. We drew green mana. Pass the turn. They play Voldaren Epicure. I think I'm going to respond here. Let's attempt a snap on a soldier. Untap, untap. Now we'll try to Hydroblast. Attempt a Weather for 12 life. Please don't kill me. Galvanic Blast. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, it just took me too long to draw that green mana source, unfortunately. I know we went 2-3. I felt like this deck was better than that. And I'm not just trying to make excuses. When you look at our losses, there was a match where I was forced to play ultra fast because I was so low on clock. And then the Golgari matchup, I think in an untimed event, I probably would win that match. But that's just not the nature of Magic Online. And it's tough to make decisions and play quickly enough with a deck I've never played before. And then in round 5, we sort of got ran over. If I had known I was facing red, I wouldn't have kept the hand in game 1. And then game 2, we didn't draw green mana. I think green mana drastically changes how that game plays out. But it's just not what happened. So I really liked the list. I don't know if I'd change anything in the main deck. The sideboard, I don't know if I have any strong opinions, but it felt fine enough to me. Like, I think that this is a coherent 75. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. That was a sweet donation deck. If you're interested in seeing your favorite combo deck here at the Epic Storm, visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where you can submit a deck to be featured here on this channel. And on top of that, if you're a higher member tier of this channel, like a Stormtrooper or a Combo Cabal, you get 50% off or even free. So there's tons of perks. Submit a donation deck today.